Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome. Perfect start. Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to, I always say good morning. I have no idea when you guys are actually watching these videos, but good whatever. Before we get started, I'm very aware that it looks like I've been crying. And if I'm being honest, I have. And I will explain why later. I'm not the kind of guy that's like afraid to cry or have emotions. You've probably already noticed that. I've been going through a lot of change, specifically physical change in the last month or two. And when it's all for a good reason. When I explain to you a little bit later, it will make sense. Also, I just put some purple flesh sweet potatoes in the oven, ready for later. And everyone always talks about how purple flesh sweet potatoes are actually the sweetest. I've only ever had them once before, and they were very disappointing. They tasted bland, they were way too starchy and dry, so I don't know. Hopefully these ones will come through. But I'm very hungry and I want to dive into some food first, and actually I have got a huge, I have got a huge and very impressive fruit stash behind me, which actually, do you know what? I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little melon haul because I'm just so excited about these different varieties of melons that I've been eating that I want to show you, so. Alright, so onto my very impressive melon stash. These little sugar baby melons, I've shown them in a video before, but I am absolutely obsessed. And I keep buying them in bulk because, I don't know, I feel like I'm hanging on to summer for dear life. And these little babies are, I mean, I understand now why they're called sugar baby melons. They're also called Matisse melons, or I've seen them called snowball melons before. They literally taste like pure sugar. And I've been eating multiple of them every day. Me and my girlfriend both love them. I've got one cantaloupe. Cantaloupes are kind of back in season, really sweet and tangy. When you get a good cantaloupe, it's almost as good as like a good watermelon. Watermelon, which is most certainly not in season anymore. I've got one, I think this is ripe. Yeah, it's fairly soft, papaya. Let's hope it actually tastes of vanilla rather than feet. Because you know with papaya, it's always like one or the other. There's no in between. They're either amazing or shit. Peeled DeSapo melon. These I absolutely love, but they're definitely very hit and miss. Sometimes they're really crisp and sweet, and other times they're just too slushy, and I can't deal with slushy or squishy fruit. One watermelon, which does sound like it's a good crisp one. But yeah, for the most part, I'm not eating that much watermelon anymore just because, yeah, the season has passed. And I'm very depressed about it. That's not why I was crying, by the way, but that is actually a reason why I would cry. So if you thought that, you were kind of half right. Yeah, one thing that has been pretty consistent from the beginning of the summer up until now is that I'm still starting every day with a lot of fresh fruit. I can't believe I went through phases in my life where I mean, I never ate no fruit unless I was doing some kind of stupid experiment. But I've definitely been through periods where I ate just like, you know, like minimal amounts of fruit, just like 2 or 3 pieces a day. But now I'm just like all about the fruit. I can't imagine ever going back to not eating fruit first thing in the morning. It's just, I don't know, just makes me feel amazing. That's how you can tell it's a sweet one as well. I feel like when there's a big hole in the middle, like when there's a big gap and it's kind of crisp and it's kind of like opened up more, that's when you know it's a really sweet one. In my experience, with these melons anyway. Not only sweet, but crisp. Can you hear that? Hear that crack? Literally like candy. The thing is, they're pretty small as well. That's why I buy so many, because once I get going with these, I can literally eat like this size, like the small ones. I think my record's 7. Still wasn't full up. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like melon is just the perfect way to start the day. Any kind of melon. Especially for me, because when I work out in the morning, I sweat a lot. I'm gonna munch my way through this. And then we'll see what I crack open after. Beautiful. The cantaloupe recently, again, they're really small, so when I buy these I can go through loads, but they are just so sweet and tangy. I was kind of getting depressed the other day. Again, I feel like I talk about this pretty much every summer, or at least like once a year on this channel. Yeah, because I was like, watermelon season is over. What am I going to do? Like, what am I actually going to, like, what am I actually living for, you know? But then I forgot, and, hold on. But then I quickly remembered about all the delicious winter fruits we have. Specifically, cantaloupe. Again, they're not locally grown in the UK, but we just get good ones here in the winter. And persimmon. Every winter, I don't know why I'm talking about winter. We're like nowhere near winter yet. But basically, I'm just trying to convince myself that it's gonna be okay. Because even though watermelon season is over, persimmon season is coming in a couple of months. And when I get going with the persimmon, I mean, you guys have seen it for yourself. I eat so many, I literally go orange. Like, in December, this will be me. It's just like, it's like a life-changing experience. Can we focus? Can we actually, what is wrong with, I feel like maybe my face is so offensive the camera just doesn't want to focus on it. So yeah, I'm gonna make a smoothie, then we're gonna sit down, well, I'm gonna sit down and I'll just like explain to you a little bit about what's been going on and stuff. See, that's the thing with these dark, sweet cherries. I don't know where they get them from because I've never even had fresh cherries this sweet, but these frozen ones are always like super, super, super sweet. So yeah, can always rely on these. 1 scoop of the salted caramel maca raw vegan protein powder from Vivo Life. This stuff is my actual crack. You have no idea. If any of you guys try and order it and it's like sold out, it's because of me. Like, I literally, same thing with liquid gold. I'm just an overconsumer with everything that I love. And some plant milk. I'm just using cashew milk today. I usually use oat milk. Don't know, today it's cashew. Also, speaking of things that are really sweet, these little dates, I get them from Sainsbury's and been snacking on these galore. I can't remember, can we focus? There we go. I can't remember the exact variety of these, but I'm gonna buy more before I upload this, so I'll put the name on the screen right now. But these, the thing is with dates, I don't understand the obsession with medjool dates. Like, yeah, they're good, they're sweet, but they're kind of like giant cockroaches. And also, they just have kind of like a leathery, I just don't think they're the best dates. Like, everyone raves about them, but these little things actually taste of caramel and they melt in your mouth. And I would highly suggest. So yeah, whatever I put on the screen right now, go look for it. Cheers. Every single time, it hits me in that, you know those things that you eat like every day, so you'd think that they wouldn't surprise you when you eat them, but then you eat them again and you're like, ooh, wow, like, orgasm territory. Like, this is like that. I just always forget how good this smoothie is. I don't know why, the combination of cherry and salted caramel, but it's bomb. Right, anyway, story time. I don't know why I'm a little bit nervous to tell you this, because it's like nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, it's something that I'm quite proud of, but here we go. Also, I think I mentioned this in the intro, but I'm going to show you how to make my updated version of crispy peanut butter tofu for lunch. Yeah, if you guys saw my last video, then which was like reviewing like 10 different peanut butters, then you'll know that I've got like, because I filmed that like 2 days ago, so I've just got like peanut butter galore in the house. 2 of the jars have already gone down the chute, but the rest of it I'm just like trying to make peanut butter this, peanut butter that, basically putting peanut butter on everything, which is just the best thing in the world. But my crispy peanut butter tofu is also the best thing in the world. So yeah, the reason I've been a bit of an emotional and physical wreck recently is because and as you can see, I've even got like, I mean, you guys can search through any of my old videos. I've never had like a pimple, or this isn't a pimple, this is some kind of rash, but nothing on my face, like not even a blemish. Basically, I've been in a lot of physical discomfort over the last couple of months because I'm withdrawing from some pretty heavy medication. And for anyone that has experienced anything similar, or been on very strong medication, specifically like the ones that I'm on, which I'll talk about in a minute, and then you've had to come off them, you will know that drug withdrawal is just living hell. I feel like most people know that, but they think of it in terms of like if you've been addicted to some kind of hardcore drug or drugs, like I was in the past. But people have a kind of very different perspective to it, and doctors do as well, which is very unfortunate. They're just, in this country, so uneducated with what they're prescribing, because the withdrawal effects of certain drugs, I'm talking antidepressants, antipsychotics, which is not what I'm withdrawing from, even though I am a bit psychotic. Pain medication, all these other kind of medications which have very, very potent effects on your body, on your nervous system, on your gut, on your brain. When you come off them, for whatever reason, when you come off them, it is absolute living hell. It can be very nasty. In fact, the one that I take for pain, because for those of you that don't know, I feel like I've said this 4,724 times to be exact, that I have one adrenal gland. One was taken out via surgery about 8 years ago, because I had a very rare disease where my body produces too much adrenaline. That was a whole thing, almost died from it, but like it's all good now. But because I have severe nerve damage from where the operation was, I have been taking for the last 8 years very, very strong pain medication, because I've tried everything. I know the whole comment section is gonna be full of, Miles, try this, Miles, try that, try herbs, try this. Guys, I've tried everything. Don't forget that like nutrition, it was my profession as well. So I really know what I'm talking about in this area, and I've worked with some of the best medical herbalists. I've tried everything. I've also tried all medications, and there's only one that worked for my specific condition and really helped with the severe like stabbing pain that I get in my stomach from that surgery, from the trauma of how it was removed. I don't know, it's a thing. So yeah, I was on this medication for 8 years, and it got to the point where even though it allows me to live life pain-free, the side effects of it are just not worth it anymore. Like, you guys wouldn't have noticed that much, because when I say that it used to make my weight fluctuate, it still does because I'm still on it. I'm just withdrawing from it, taking a much lower dose. Yeah, the drug basically was doing all kinds of weird things to my body and my brain. It was making my weight fluctuate like crazy, which I know a lot of you people will be like, what? And that's because I guess I always look relatively lean. And that's because I have long limbs. I have very long legs and arms. I'm just that kind of person. So even when I do gain like 10 or 20 pounds, it's not very visible because I kind of just hold it well. Anyway, that's not the problem. I don't really give a shit about whether I weigh 20 pounds more, 20 pounds less. But yeah, it just got to the point where the side effects of the drug were just becoming so toxic. Because believe it or not, guys, certain prescription medications are just as bad as things like cocaine and heroin, and just as addictive as well. So yeah, a couple months ago, I just kind of had enough of what it was doing to my body, even though it allows me to live pain-free, and I have been reducing the dose. I cut it in half, then I started taking it every other day. So basically on the days in between, I would go through severe withdrawal, feel sick, feel nauseous, just wake up in the night just like sweating with a fever, because that's what your body goes through with drug withdrawal. And again, when I say drug withdrawal, I'm not just talking about like hardcore drugs that you like sniff up your nose and stuff. I'm talking about strong prescription medications. Again, I'm not anti-medication. If you need to take medication, take medication. It saved my life over the last 8 years, or at least allowed me to live relatively normally, even though I'm not normal at all. But it's really a shame that a lot of doctors, when they kind of just dish out things like antidepressants, pain medication, sedatives, they don't warn you about just how addictive they can be. And again, I've been on these drugs for 8 years. So now for my body to just be withdrawing from that, I'm feeling a lot of pain. When I tell you guys, but I'm staying true to the cause, and I'm doing it because I personally do not want to be hooked on such a toxic medication for the rest of my life. And it's been living hell coming off it. So that's that. I know on a lot of my pictures on Instagram recently as well, by the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, healthy crazy cool, what are you doing? Yeah, a lot of people noticed that my body's changed. I look like I've lost weight, which I have. It's not because I'm eating less. If anything, I'm eating more. I'm eating literally like a whole jar of peanut butter every single night on top of everything else I eat. It's just because the drug itself was making me retain so much water. And yeah, basically my body is getting back into sync of just my normal metabolism, my normal everything. Even though I'm a very abnormal person. God bless Jill for supporting me through this, both physically and mentally on a daily basis. I really don't think I could be doing this alone. And you're probably thinking, what am I gonna do for pain management when I come off it completely? That, I still don't know yet. That is one of the reasons, in fact, it's the only reason, and I'm not afraid to talk about this. You've seen me get high in multiple videos, and that's not just for fun. I don't just sit here and like get baked and just like some people do and just be reckless and do stupid things. I take it for pain management, usually once a day in the evening, and it works absolute wonders for me. But even my doctor was saying, like, if it was legal in this country, he would absolutely prescribe it to me. So yeah, I kind of just wanted to say, let this be a lesson to anyone before you rush into taking any kind of prescribed medication. I feel like people just kind of worship doctors and think that they know exactly what they're doing, exactly what they're prescribing. They don't. Like, most of the time they don't. And that's not because I've got anything against doctors. My dad's a doctor. Most of my family are in the medical profession, and they're all amazing in their own fields. But in terms of prescribing medications that they don't fully understand the long-term consequences of, please just do your own research before you dive into taking anything. Anyways, I'll see you at lunch. First, we're gonna dice this into just little bite-sized chunks. Doing this in the air fryer, so you don't want the chunks to be too big, otherwise they're just gonna burn on the outside, and the inside won't be crispy or, like, you know, firm enough. So little pieces is always gonna be better, especially when you have a nice peanut butter marinade. I'm gonna throw some veggies in the air fryer as well. I'm just gonna use a couple of these very sweet, I don't actually know the real name for them, these sweet bell peppers, the long ones. I have a yellow one as well. But you could also throw in onion, carrots, zucchini, aubergine, eggplant, whatever you want. Some salt, a good amount of salt. Even though the peanut butter I'm using is salted, and I'm using coconut aminos, basically I just like salty things. Some good runny peanut butter. This one is actually the one from Pip and Nut, which I said I wasn't going to buy again, but if you saw my last video, then you'll know why I bought it. So you need a good 2 to 3 tablespoons. Don't be shy, be generous with this, because it needs to coat everything to give it a beautiful crispy peanut butter crust. Okay, I'm going for 4 tablespoons. Ish. Some fresh lime juice, just a little bit. Some coconut aminos, which just has the most amazing savory and sweet flavor all in one go. Gonna give this a good 15 minutes, I think. Look at that beautiful crispy tofu and those caramelized peppers come out perfectly. I actually did it for 15 minutes and it wasn't crispy enough, so I put it in for another 5. So I'd say air fryer 20 minutes, oven, yeah, if it's a hot oven, probably 20 minutes too. Can't ever, won't ever, haven't ever had a Buddha bowl or any kind of salad without avocado. This one does look a bit questionable, but we'll have to do. And a nice big squishy purple sweet potato. This better be sweet. Better be sweet, because like I said last time, it was a big letdown. Guys, it's not even purple, it's like black. And some little sweet peas. And some beautiful liquid gold. Would you look at that? Do you know what, actually though, the thing is, the sweet potato, I'll show you from a different light in a minute, but it's not even purple, it's like actually black. Actually, do you know what, I'm a little bit disappointed because I actually look like Eminem right now. Alrighty, here's my beautiful bowl. By the way, this is my big bowl. I know I always feel the need to tell you what size bowl I'm using, but I feel like you actually can't tell on camera. This bowl is massive. So yeah, at the bottom, I have got 3 heads of romaine. Yes, I do eat that many greens. It makes me feel amazing, fills me up. Why wouldn't you? One of those large purple flesh sweet potatoes, which is very, very squishy. And I did try the skin, I'm not gonna lie, before I poured the tahini and put the peas in and stuff. But, no, well there is no but, I tried it and it's actually not sweet at all. It's not not as good as orange flesh. It's not as good as any of the white ones. It's actually very, very bland. And I'm really disappointed. I don't understand how people say these are the best ones. I know you can get different varieties, but basically, I mean, I'm still going to enjoy this because it's squishy and starchy and comforting. But in terms of actual sweet flavour, a little bit disappointing. So the sweet potato, loads of peas that I steamed up, a whole large creamy Hass avocado, cherry tomatoes, raw carrot and cucumber, and then the crispy peanut butter crusted tofu, which I'll put like the full recipe in the ingredients, instructions, all that kind of stuff in the description box, and put those in with some peppers. They have caramelized beautifully, and of course I've just given it a little drizzle of liquid gold, the proper good gold stuff. I'll leave the link down below. This is the stuff that dreams are made of. But yeah, I did put a little drizzle on because I was taking a picture for Insta, but obviously more's going on. This is just like, the thing is I go through it, and then as I go through the first layer, then I'll probably add like another sweet potato, and then I'll just cover it with tahini again. Basically every morsel has to be covered in tahini. It's just how it is. Anyways, I'm gonna go apply to face, and you all know what's coming next. Beautiful. Alright guys, today we are reviewing, I don't even know the name of this brand. Okay, the name of this brand is called Nutcessity. And I feel like this was just meant to be. My friend told me that this brand made bomb nut butters. So I went to message them on Instagram, and then when I got there, they had messaged me a few months back asking if they could send a few of their jars. Obviously I'll leave the link of these down below. Obviously not sponsored, otherwise I'd like tell you. Some of their flavors sound pretty, I don't know, pretty like original, but also a little bit wacky. But then you look at the ingredients and they're like damn healthy. Like for example, this one, coffee and walnut. The ingredients are walnuts, pumpkin seeds, coconut, ground coffee bean, pink salt. I don't know why I felt the need to say pink Himalayan salt. But apparently this is just pink salt. Also, gotta respect it right off the bat. They are using glass jars, which you know I'm all about. Alright, so that did take a little churn, I'm not gonna lie. That texture's pretty good. Look at that. That is really runny. I did have to churn for about 30 seconds. But the end result was worth it. Look at that. Anyways, I'm going in. Oh my god.
Is it good?
Mmm. Don't quite know how to even explain that. It's like, Alright, nut butter number 2. Caramel, no. I'm trying to read it backwards in the camera and it's not really doing my dyslexia any favors. Caramel, cashew, butter. The ingredients are cashews, coconut, pumpkin seed, carob, pink salt. Do you know what I will say? I am loving the textures of these. The texture for me is absolutely spot on. Definitely pourable and spoonable and smotherable on a personable. Here we go. Oh my god. There's no fucking way they haven't put sweetener in there. Nah, that's amazing. I'm actually gonna give that 10 out of 10. Like, actually.